Hello FlossTube, I'm Nicole and this is DDs FlossTube episode 92. Good evening everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while I talk about the things that I have worked on. Now, you can hear that my voice is a little bit sketchy. It has taken me the better part of 3 hours to set up this morning. I've just been doing a little bit at a time, but I wanted to check in with everybody and just let everybody know that I am on the mend. Although my voice does not sound like it, and I still am a little bit, or actually I'm a lot tired. So for those that don't know, I actually got hit with COVID. I was on my Stitch With Me on Monday and you could hear in my voice then that I was getting sick after that Stitch With Me. I was just going downhill very fast. That afternoon, my husband brought home some tests. I've tested positive for COVID and I have been in bed ever since. So needless to say, I have got a lot of stitching, but I was just so sick of sitting in bed today. Like, it's Friday morning. It is now 10 o'clock. I've been awake since 6:30, and so I've just been slowly but surely setting up, and here I am. So I'm just so sick of sitting in bed. Anybody that knows me knows that if I'm sitting around for that long, I must be sick. And but I'm just over it. So I got up. I started slowly pulling things out here. I've gone and had a shower. The magic of makeup makes me look a little less pasty, although it looks like I've got a bit of a mask on, but who cares? I'm here. That's all that matters. But we are here to talk about cross stitch and a few other things. And I assure you, before everybody says that you should be resting, I have been resting. I've been stitching and napping. That has been the consistency of my week. And it's been a pretty productive week, even with all the napping. So I'm hoping to be back full steam next week, but I'm just going to play it by ear. And I'm even playing day by ear. Like, today may be a good day. Tuesday was an okay, like, I felt terrible, but it was okay. I wasn't dizzy or whatever. Come Wednesday, I was super dizzy. Then yesterday, I was okay in the morning, but by the afternoon, I slept for like 5 hours or something, and then I was back asleep by, I don't know, 11 o'clock last night and slept through to this morning. So I'm getting lots of sleep. I'm eating lots of fresh fruit and vegetables and stuff like that. Although sometimes it's a little bit painful, but I'm still getting the vitamins and everything into me, and I am taking care of myself. My husband will not let me out of my room to do any housework or anything like that, and it's killing me because the house is putrid because they don't do the housework properly. But anyway, I'm ignoring it. Luckily for me, I'm still isolated from the household. My bedroom is connected to my studio, so I have access to everything, which is great. So I'm not missing out on doing anything, and I'm just taking it slow. All right, so let's talk about what I've worked on. We'll start with Monday, the Stitch With Me. So I've got everything off to the side. I did a little bit more after the Stitch With Me, not too much. I basically napped most of the day. I was stitching and I actually fell asleep, which is like the ultimate nana nap. Anyway, excuse me. This is what I've got done. Oh, I should show you what I'm working on. Okay, so a bit off. So I'm doing it as one piece and I'm turning it into a cushion because it'll be easier for me to store one piece as opposed to 11 individual pieces. So that's what it's going to look like when it's finished. And I am working on Frozen Hot Chocolate Shop and this series is by Country Cottage Needleworks. That's what the little chart looks like. And now last week I did a lot of mapping out and whatnot, so now I'm just doing the full crosses. So on the Stitch With Me, I started doing the full crosses on the house. A couple of people pointed out that I didn't have garlands over here because I'd run out of this green because I used it in another project. I've now got that in, so yeah, I can now finish it off and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, little things like that come as the chart progresses. So I'm hoping to have this finished by the end of the month. So by the time I get on Monday, if I get on, I will hopefully have this pretty much finished, and then by the end of the month done, and then I can move on to the next one. So I'm using this until it's done for the Stitch With Me. So if you're working on this, you can always come along and join me every Monday. Share your progress over on Instagram and tag me, or over in our Facebook group. I'd love to see your progress as well. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing. The fabric that I'm using is a 16 count AIDA. It is called Lagoon, and it's dyed by myself, so DD Stitchery. But I'm loving the look of it. I love the fabric like that. That's pretty much true to color to the fabric at that point, and you can see it's really popping. The original fabric that I had on this was called French Rain by Bridgett, and it was I thought it was a 32 count even weave that I got, but it wasn't. It was a 16 count AIDA. That's why I've gone with AIDA again. I just wanted to make it an easy stitch for me, and I think the AIDA will hold up better as a cushion as opposed to the even weave. I don't know. It's a muchness really. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the first row done and then starting on the second row. So hopefully by the end of September I will have, I should be down here. I'm hoping to get this one, like this whole row, top row finished. All right, so that is that one. Now I don't know where to put everything. I've worked on a few projects, so it's probably the most I've worked on in a while, actually. I don't know. Anyway, we'll have a look. All right, the next one that I worked on is my birthday stitch, and the hashtag for this is DD's Birthday Sale 2020. I'm going to be having lots of drinks because my voice is not great. Okay, so it is by the Blue Flower, and it is Night Walk Down. So I'm doing a little bit on this each day. Sometimes I only do 15 minutes. Sometimes I might only do half a strand of floss. Other times I might spend an hour on it. But I just love this. This is my favourite. There's a couple of people that are doing it with me. I'm looking forward to getting this finished. Again, this one's actually going to, I'm in two minds. I don't know whether I want to turn it into a large cushion for my bed or whether I want to frame it. My original plan was to turn it into a throw cushion for on my bed, and then to make a matching quilt with it, do some designs in blocks, and like take some of the elements from this and find other ones that are similar to this, and then do like a bed runner across the bed, or a quilt if I get extra excited. But yeah, so that's sort of where I'm heading with that. But I don't know, I'm liking it so much that I think that I would like to maybe frame it. So I have taken it out of the hoop and I have put it in this really old scroll bar that I had here. Yeah, so I'm just at the moment, so last time you seen it, I've got the flower wrapped up that I've done, but I haven't done the actual head of the flower. I've just done the stem. I have done all the peacock, but I haven't yet counted its tail. I have checked the bottom part of the tail and that seems to be correct. So I'm going to slowly but surely work my way up in the tail. And I wasn't up to it this week. I don't know whether I'll be up to it next week either. It's not a great scroll bar for it to be in, but it's in nonetheless. So I done walked, and from that needle there, that's why I put it in there, so you knew how much of the border I'd done. Actually, I'd done one before that, but that's at the end of the page. So I'm on to a new page, and I've got 12 of these little diamonds to do, and I think I'm up to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so I'm up to number 8. So I've got another 5 to go, and that'll bring that to about there. And then as I said, I started on. I ran out of this floss, which I can't remember the number, and it wasn't on the bed, so I didn't get up to get it. Was out here, because I've just got like a couple of strands of each one, and I'd run out of that floss, and yeah, so I moved down to here and did that, and I just did a little bit each day. Excuse me. All right, the next one that I worked on, I got some stitches into Red Dragon. So Red Dragon is my daughter's imaginary friend. When she was little, she had a red dragon, and I come across this. It's called Red Dragon. It is also by one of her favorite artists and mine, which is Jasmine Becket Griffith, and that is her favorite fairy out of Jasmine Becket Griffiths. I've also got Wicked, Tricksy, and False on the go by her, and I've got Frozen Draggling of hers as well in a diamond painting. So we do love Jasmine Becket Griffith, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to put some stitches into it. So I got 544 stitches into it. That's all I could really manage. And so it still doesn't look like much. It's just like a big blob of colour. But we do have some green and stuff in it. So let me just bring that back up behind it, and then that will make it easier to see. So with these new lights too, it makes it a lot easier. So you can see I've got some of the blue in the background, and I've got green, and so I just did this little bit here, which was 500, and it was 939 that I used. So yeah, so I just, that's I'm just doing columns, as you can see, and I've got, this is also 939 that I've got to fill it in there, and I think there's a little bit of black in there as well, not much. So yeah, so it's just a lot of filling, and then there's some more green and stuff up in here, and it's starting to move across. So I'm on to page 3, and I am almost at 9% when I checked yesterday, when I done that. So yeah. And the other one that I worked on this week was, this had a tiny start. It had 200 stitches in it because I started this in December for no new starts because I wanted to work on it. It is called Santa Collection, and I thought that there was 10, but there's actually 12. I went and I had a double check that. And I posted this up on Instagram as well. And I am doing it as one piece because I'm thinking I'm actually going to frame this one from the wall because the Santas are just adorable, and I didn't bring them all out, so I'm just working on number 1. This is what it looks like. It's by the designer My Fanny, and I got these off Etsy. I can't remember where I seen them. I think I seen them on Instagram originally. So yeah, so when I started it, I had I'd done this little part, excuse me, of his beard. And I'd done that snowflake, and I had started coming down to do the snowman. But we have a snowman and almost a Santa. So I got all of this done the other night. Like if I wasn't feeling so poorly, I would have probably ended up finishing that. But as I said, I'm doing it on one piece. Now, a lot of people ask me if this was blue. It is not. It is a blue grey, and that is the colour of it there. So it is called Grey Skies. This again is hand dyed by myself. It's 32 count even weave, and so I mean I've got a ton of fabric here. But what I was thinking of doing, as I said, I am going to do this as one piece, and I'm going to leave about an inch between each one, give or take, and I'll work out, well, that'll be 32 stitches between. I'll see how I go, but I'm actually thinking that I may put another border around each one, and then have like a, let me see if there's a snowflake on here. No, like a primitive snowflake, sort of like, I don't even have any. Oh, here we go. I'll show you that. Yeah, I'll show you. Anyway, like a primitive snowflake. So yeah, so that is the colour of the fabric. As I said, it's called Grey Skies. And each Grey Skies is slightly different, just because of the dye lot and how it dyes and stuff like that. And Ada is a little bit darker when I dye it as well than the even weave. The even weave comes out a little bit lighter, and that's the mottling on it. And there's the other side of it. Open it up. Oh, let me just open that up properly. So yeah, see, it's all crushed, sorry, but yeah. I'm really liking the colour of it, and I think it's going to make all, and you can see that those colours are just like absolutely 100% popping off that. And the little snowman, and I hate, like, I'm working with so much white at the moment, like, but yeah, my stitches are okay. They're okay. I get frustrated with white because it just never looks great. But I will say that I did something the other day with the back end of my needle where the eye of the needle is. They were looking a little bit ragged, and I just lightly rubbed my the end of my needle over it, and I noticed that it moved and it straightened up. And so I did it over the whole snowman, and it looks a little bit better. Like, not hard, it just made everything sort of line up a little bit better. Like, there's still some messy ones, but I think that lines up a lot better. I don't know, maybe I'm imagining it. Alright, so they're all the things that I stitched on, and I stitched on one other one, which you can just see over my shoulder here. And so I got I called it a COVID ISO finish, and also an FFO. So that is the back, and that is the front. So I'm sorry about the swear word, but I'm going to show it this time. You can turn away, like you can fast forward a little bit. But I just absolutely love how it turned out and how I finished it. This took me all day yesterday to do. We have jingle bells on it. I showed my husband and he goes, "That's an interesting cross stitch, like thing for a cross stitch." I'm like, "Well, it's not all Nana stuff, mate." Like, so yeah, so that's how it's ended, and I'm just going to hold that there because I'm so happy that I finished this. Now, last time you seen this, I actually had a mistake over here. Remember, the ribbon was down one, so I only had to frog out that little curl, so from there down. So what happened was I had put one less row of 6 in, and that's all the problem was. Other than that, everything else was okay. And these are the little stars that I'm thinking that, like, see how this border is? I'm thinking that not exactly the same, but something similar, maybe the same. Like, it's not a difficult border, but going around and then having, like, in between each one a snowflake like that and just turning it into a really big piece. So yeah, but I like how I finished it. It looks like a candy cane. This is going to hang on my door all year round. You can hear the bells. So yeah, so I'll hear when someone's coming in my room now. And I just used a little bit of macrame cord and sandwiched it in the back, and it hangs. And then I put the little bows on with the bells, and I didn't want to leave too much around the outside. I actually wanted the hollies to come right to the corner, just to, like, frame it a little bit better. And then I just glued some pom-pom trim on there. The pom-pom trim, I just got that from AliExpress. It's just, yeah, your nylon. And the little bows as well, I got them from AliExpress ages ago, but I think they suited very well. So that is going to hang, well, it's probably going to hang here for a while because I'm out here more than I'm in front of my door in my bedroom. So it's just going to hang there for a while. But that is the FFO that I got for this week. So I do finish things. They're just few and far between. I start more things than I finish. And I know a lot of people don't deal with that. And you'll be happy to know that I went through and I counted, I don't believe it, but I counted my whip book and I'm down to 52 whips. I started the year with 70 odd and I UFO'd a couple. So I just wasn't feeling them anymore, and I sent them off to homes. So they were charts that I had purchased that I really, really liked at the time and I really, really wanted to do, but it was very, very early on in my cross-stitch journey. And so, you know, tastes change a little bit. And so there was some of you might remember, actually, there was the Tribal Cat and the Tribal Cauldron. I actually moved them on. There was a few Christmas ones that I got in boxes and stuff like that I had started because they came in the box, but I just wasn't feeling them. So I moved them on to someone that loves Christmas stuff. And then there was other ones that were PDFs that I had only done like 50 to 100 stitches in. So I frogged out, recycled the fabric back into my stash and set those patterns aside. There's no point in having them if I'm not going to work on them. So I decided to UFO them, and I think there was 10 or 15 that I UFO'd. I'm actually looking at my HAEDs at the moment. I've got 10 HAEDs on the go, and I'm only actively working 4 at the moment. So that's Which Way, Autumn Dragon, Autumn Queen, can you see a theme? I like autumn stuff, and Red Dragon. So I'm only actively working those 4. And the others that I have barely have 200 stitches in them. So rather than, and I haven't kitted them up except for one, I think I've kitted. So I'm contemplating pulling those stitches out, recycling that fabric back into my stash, and if I get to them, I get to them, and any floss that I have put in them, I'm going to put that back into my master set, because there's no point. I'm just like, I've got to the point where my tastes have changed a little bit. Like, I really love the HAEDs that I've got. Like, you have to love them. And some of them were free. Like, I didn't purchase them. So Red Dragon I purchased, the one that you've seen today. Oh, and I'm stitching that on 28 count, 2/1 10 stitch, and I'm loving the coverage. It's just beautiful coverage. So an Autumn Queen, I purchased that a few years ago, and I restarted that because I didn't like the coverage. So I've gone to 28 count on that, and I'm doing that 10 stitch, 2/1 as well. And I'm doing that because I did not like the coverage on 25 count, and yeah, so I just scrapped it. And I was doing full cross then. Now I'm doing 10 stitch. It's gone a little bit faster. I'm almost to the point that I was at. I was almost at a page finished on that one. So it's going to get into the rotation and stuff again once I feel better. Like, that's a Max Colors. It's got like nearly, I don't know, 500,000 stitches in it. So the other one, actually, I've got 5 that I'm actively working on. Christmas 2, Red Dragon, Autumn Dragon, which is not, it is a full coverage, but it doesn't have a background. It's a Heaven and Earth, but it doesn't have a background, so it's not technically a full coverage, but it's still a Heaven and Earth design. Wicked, Tricksy and False is the other one that I'm working on as well, but I haven't put any stitches into that, but that's far too long. So yeah, I've actually got 5 on the go. 5, yeah. I don't know. I'll have to double check that. But there's a couple that I'm just not going to get to them. I'm not even excited to work on them, so I think I just need to pull the fabric out and like pull the floss out of the fabric. Whatever floss I've got there, put it back into my master set and call it done. So that'll probably bring me down a little bit further down. So yeah, once I got rid of the UFOs that I was never going to work on, and the HAEDs, I take them out, that brings me down to 52. Well, actually now down to 51 because I included that in that. So that's not too bad. Like, considering I was around, well, what did I say last week? 76 or something. That was number 76. So, yeah, and that was where I was at. But now I've gone through that whip journal and realized that because I've written UFO, given away, who I gave it to and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's got me down. And I'm going to get a few more finishes. I've got another 5 smalls that are so close to a finish. I will have them finished by the end of the year. And I've also got a large piece that I'm hoping to have finished in October, which is Halloween Quaker, which I will work on for DDs Spooktober. I will talk more about Spooktober next week because we're coming into September, which is Sampler September. So my samplers will come out, and I've got a couple of Jean Farish samplers on the go, and I've also got Huckleberry Farm by the Blue Flower, so that will come out and get some love. And I think I've got another one. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to have a look. Oh no, I finished that. That was Strawberry Fields. That's done. That's finished. So yeah, so basically that I've got a couple of medium-sized ones that are very close to a finish. So I'm pulling a lot of those at the moment and working on those and getting them sorted and off the books. So I'm hoping by the end of the year I will be down another maybe 10. So if I'm down into the 40s, that's pretty good. But I haven't started anything this year. I've just been working on stuff. But come November, I'm actually going to be joining with Virtual Stitches Vicky Gable. She's got and it's right at the end of around Thanksgiving time. Bella Filipina stitch, stitch along for her birthday. So I'm going to start Bellatrix. As long as, I I mean, I haven't really been participating in no new starts. I sort of dropped out of that when I got super busy, and then I just haven't got back to it, and they've just done an album check, and I haven't updated anything. I could go in and update, and technically I've had no new starts, and I've finished stuff, I'm working my whips, so I technically can bring something else in, but yeah, no. So I don't know. I think I'm just out of the race in that one, because as I said, I haven't been really participating. But what else have we got going on? So that's all the stuff that I've worked on in cross stitch wise. Now, I don't know if I'm going to make it on for slow stitching Saturday tomorrow. I'm going to leave everything set up. I'm going to, like, while I'm still feeling okay right now, I'm just going to run with it. I'm going to set everything up. So if I'm up to it, I won't have that to deal with. I'll just get up and do it. So for the rest of today, what I'm going to be working on is my Boro, and I'm going to show it here. In case I don't get on. I've done some more stitching on it. Now, last week I showed you how to add the border on by hand. So we did that by hand, and I'm doing it all by hand. This is the color that I've chose to go with, a very neutral tone, but it's making these pop. Now, for those that don't know what Boro is, if you go and look for, I've got 3 videos up for slow stitching Saturday, and I'm just working through projects. Okay, so this project is what I'm working on at the moment. Boro is a Japanese philosophy of mending, so they make do with what they have, and they see the beauty in mending and whatnot. And like, I love this. I absolutely love this. I've still got to trim up, like I've got to add another piece here because it's shrunk in a bit from the edge, but I could leave it and not worry about it. But you can see here that that's everything that I've done. I'm 3/4 of the way through now, so I've got this is what I'm working on for the rest of the day. So I won't do any cross stitch today. I'll be working on this for the rest of the day. So that's all I've got to do for that. And then I'm up to putting the borders on. But it's looking so nice. And like, I got the ultimate compliment from my daughter. She really, like, she's a fussy little puppet, very much a minimalist. That almost didn't come out. And she absolutely loves it. She's like, have you finished doing that yet? I'm like, no. I'm thinking that she's going to steal it. Like, I'm scared. I'm worried about putting that into the lounge room, but I'm going to endeavor to get that done today. So if I get all that stitching on that sashiko stitching done on that, I'll be putting borders on. So and I'm going to put them on by hand. So I'm going to, after this video, cut them and have them ready to go, and then yeah, and then I'll finish that off, and hopefully I'll be on tomorrow. I'll probably do the final border with you or something. I don't know. We'll see how we go. But the next thing that I'm going to be starting is this one here. So this is the Birdsville cushion by Wendy Williams. And you can get these, apparently you can get these at that address, but the Felt Lady out at Chinchilla, she's on Instagram as well, the Felt Lady, I believe that she sometimes get these kits in, but she can also, she said that she was able to kit them up. I don't know if that's still the case, because I got this back in May when she was at the quilt show, but hit her up. I don't know, I got mine from Just Patchwork because they had the kit there and then. So apparently it has everything that I need in it. It has all the felt, and it is all hand stitched as well. So I'm going to be doing some cutting out and some stitching by hand. I think it's going to be fun. It's like a collage. So that is the next project. So if you want to if you've got a kit like this or something like that, pull that out and you can work along with it. I'll give you some tips and tricks on different things that I do to help me along the way. I haven't done a lot of this stuff, so my slow stitching Saturday is like a vlog of the things that I work on. And sometimes I have done stuff, sometimes I haven't. So the Boro, I hadn't done anything like that before. So it was good. Like, as I said in the video, I'm winging this. I'm just making it up as I go. I've watched several videos and stuff like that. Like, it's not real hard. And this isn't real hard either. There's just a little bit of embroidery on there. Like, there's some French knots and there's some stitching and blanket stitch, and there's some long stitches on it from what I can see. that, you know, this looking pretty intense, but that's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to start that, work on that for a couple of weeks with you guys. So if you're watching this today and you do join me for Slow Stitching Saturday, make sure you grab out all your crafts and stuff like that, and you don't have to follow that along. You can go and I'll talk a little bit more about how you can do things if you don't have patterns and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to take away from the designer or anything like that, and I do recommend that you hit Just Patchwork up if you're here in Australia, or go and talk to the felt lady on Instagram, because she has all the felts and she's got some pretty felts. I just wanted it in a kit form. It makes it easy for me because I live in a country location. Not everybody has that stuff, and I can just get into it. So yeah, and I'm just going to use what I've got here and in that kit. And I've got my flosses, and well, I've got my floss and my floss, Cosmo Floss as well. So I probably will end up using Cosmo Floss because I like to use Cosmo Floss over DMC for embroideries. It's just a personal preference. So yeah, so if you've got anything like that, I'm going to talk about in the first video of how you can create your own pattern. And I will have some, like, just some links of different things that you can go and have a look. How you can use Pinterest as well. I'm going to start a board up for that as well. So there'll always be a Pinterest board to whatever I'm working on. So yeah, so basically I will just talk about a few different things, different resources on how you can create your own patterns without having a pattern. Because a lot of us are isolated and stuff. I know that I've got a lot of people that live in country areas that follow me and stuff like that. So I'm going to try and make it as easy as possible for you. So you can join along in the fun. And you don't even really have to use felt either. You can use your scrap fabrics. So, because it's just essentially appliquing. All right. So what else happened this week? Luckily for me this week, we still had a sewing tutorial go up, and I had another cozy, bowl cozy tutorial go up. I made this bowl cozy. This is my keys bowl. I keep going out and dumping it all out. Everybody comes home, why are the keys everywhere? So this is a bowl that an old bowl that I just chucked my keys into, and I wanted to dress it up because normally it just sits there like that, and you know, it looks like washing up. It's just been sat on the bench, but it's not. So I made myself a rounded corner bowl cozy and did a tutorial for it. So I made that a couple of weeks ago. So that went up this week. So if you haven't seen that, go and have a look at that. I have a ton more cozy ideas coming up for to help you around the house as well. I now have a dedicated playlist to it called the Cozy List. So if you are looking for plate cozies and bowl cozies, because that's what's on there at the moment, on different styles, go and check that out. But that is it for me today. Now, fingers crossed, I will be back to full swing next week. I am just going to take it slowly. Row by row. I've had a couple of people ask me about the row by row. I know it was supposed to be up last week. I filmed everything weeks and weeks ago, like before. I had most of it filmed before I even made the announcement. Row 8 and 9 were filmed, but the sound is corrupt on one and the video is corrupt on the other. That bowl cozy one, it was also filmed the same day. You would have noticed that there was, if you go and have a look, that there's no pictures or anything of the sewing machine. So that's all corrupted on that one. So I still used what I could, but I couldn't use what I had for the row by row because it made sense, but it didn't. There was bits and pieces, like you could tell that the conversation was cut. So I've got to refilm them again. So I was planning on filming them this week and having it all released today. I've pushed that back by a week. So I've got everything all set up, ready to go, and I'm just going to film the best I can. I have been wrapping my neck, so that's why my voice sounds okay today. I'm still very congested and my chest is very sore. But the coughing has subsided today. Yesterday I couldn't talk without coughing. So the coughing has subsided today. So I'm on the mend, which is great. This is really good for everybody that's waiting for stuff. So what I've done is I've pushed the row by row back a week. and I'm going to progressively film it during the week and edit it as I go. So it will be ready to go. So I'm not going to release the cross stitch one until the quilt one is ready to go. So next Friday, hopefully by 5 o'clock, I will have that all sorted. If I get it done sooner, it will be done sooner. I also have to film another tutorial. I had two tutorials that got corrupted as well. So I don't know what happened. It was on my phone, and it's been like, I did an update and I cleaned out everything, and I done like a boot time scan on it and stuff like that, and it seems to be fine now. Nothing seems to be corrupted, but as I'm filming, but I don't know what happened there. It was very weird. And if you remember a couple of weeks back as well, there was a video where there was 30 seconds of I think it was on my Stitch With Me. There was 30 seconds of the video that sounded like I was off in the distance and I was talking into some fandangled device, and made it sounded very crackly and whatnot. That was the same lot of filming. So yeah, I don't know what happened, but anyway, I'm sorting it. It'll be all done by next week. And then I've already started working on the next one, which is actually an older quilt that I done many years ago, but I've never done it as a video tutorial. So you'll be able to, that won't be ready until closer to the end of the year, maybe the beginning of the year. We might start the new year with that, because it's a pretty big quilt. And yeah. All right, but that is it from me today. Thank you very much to everybody that has sent me well wishes. I wasn't going to post up that I had COVID or anything like that, but you know, I've been so MIA lately, full transparency. Yeah, so I don't even know where I got it from, because everybody else is still testing negative. So I have obviously picked it up somewhere where I've been in close proximity with people, someone that had it. And quite frankly, there have been a lot of people around that have been sick, so it could have been from anywhere. But this is what happens when you go out into society. I've hid for the last few years, and as soon as I started going back out into society again, I've got sick. So anyway, it is what it is. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you for all the well wishes. I'm going to go and wrap my throat again and have a nap, because I can feel I'm starting to go down. Have a couple more naps this week, get some more stitching in on my Boro, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I will see you tomorrow. But thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, happy stitching and take care, everybody. Bye for now.